7 o'clock. Apparently Elvis is a blue nose. And the most recent sighting, Highbury, August 2002. John our match commentators, Andy Gray and Martin Tyler.
Andy, for a long time you've lived in the Midlands.
Yeah.
What does it mean to Birmingham City today?
Just about everything, Martin. I'm absolutely delighted that Steve got them up in the playoffs. We haven't had a real Midlands derby, what I would call a Midlands derby in the Premiership since it started. I'm really excited about the up-and-coming local derby that we're going to cover on Sky Sports. First one for a long, long time. And you know, having lived in the city, I know how they've pained and how they've hurt when they've watched Villa grow and become the club it has, not just in the Premiership, but the way the ground has changed, and it's just become a fantastic place and basically left the Blues behind. But they're playing catch-up. They start today, and, you know, I think they're very determined. Everyone I talk to that's connected with the club, or the supporters, they're all determined that this isn't going to be what you talked over earlier, a one-season wonder.
Let's look at the side that they're facing, the defending champions. And even though the winning goal in Cardiff came from a second-half substitute, Arsene Wenger saw enough in the first period to name an unchanged starting 11. Edu edging out Gilberto, who's being eased into English football. No place in the 16 for the new French defender Pascal Sigon. He has a minor strain. Francis Jefferson Kanu, close to full fitness, but not risk today. Stuart Taylor, the second goalkeeper. Again, now that the deal to bring in Carini, the Uruguayan World Cup keeper, who is with Juventus, has seemingly fallen through.
Well, same 11.
We'll get Andy's views on that Arsenal formation in a minute, but let's introduce you to Birmingham City. Debuts for the club for Kenny Cunningham and Aliou Cisse, Senegal's World Cup captain. Cunningham from Wimbledon, one of only 3 of the 11 with previous Premiership experience. Jeff Kenner and Damian Johnson, who were together at Blackburn, they're the other 2. Robbie Savage, as you know, suspended in our studio. So too Paul Devlin. And record signing Clinton Morrison on an injury list that also includes Steve Vickers. Andy.
As I was saying, Mark. Let's see, we're rusty. Same 11, same system. I don't think that we'll see anything different than the 4-4-2 formation of last week there. I think you watched, we talked about it last week, you and I, and that's Patrick Vieira. We know now with Edu in there, and I think Edu is a player who likes to play across the pitch with the ball. Will that release Patrick to get in the box more? That'll be something to look for this season, certainly when he plays in that middle area. We saw Parler happy to come forward like that, Bergkamp dropping off the front, not a problem. And with Youngbird's continued absence, I think Will Todd is the main one, and especially when Henry drifts away to that left-hand side, Martin. Don't be surprised to see them actually swapping and finding themselves in that kind of area.
Now look, Andy, this is very similar to the way West Brom went into it at Manchester United yesterday, and it took them a long way, not quite far enough, but a long way.
The same system, the same idea, make it difficult. And you look at important players here, you look at the goalkeeper, he's going to have to make a save. But there's a couple of areas where last week, remember Liverpool went in narrow in the middle, Martin, and what happened was Arsenal exposed these players here. The 2 fullbacks that played for Liverpool early on, left and right, got exposed. So it's vitally important today that Brian Hughes and Damian Johnson, when the ball's down that side, they've got to work extremely hard, both of them, to get over. Liverpool didn't do it very well and ended up having to change systems. Now, Steve Bruce was there, he must have seen it. Cisse will give them that sort of holding position in there. But I think it's vital that these 2 work so hard, in to out, to stop Arsenal exposing them down the flanks.
So the big moment is very nearly here for Birmingham City. It's quite a gap for them to bridge today, but at the very least, the way to the champions will be got out of the way, although Steve Bruce's Blues hoping for a better bottom line than that. Patrick Vieira has stepped quite naturally into the leadership shoes of Tony Adams, and I'm sure Tony has written a last article in the match programme today saying that he'll be here in spirit every time Arsenal play. David Seaman, though, still very much in Arsenal and England plans, and of course will be remembering his 2 years as a Birmingham City goalkeeper back in the mid-80s. He actually kept a clean sheet the last time Birmingham played here in a league game. Well, it's last season's all-conquering outfit against the club that secured the final place in this season's Premiership, the winners of the playoff. Birmingham City's baptism in the Premiership. It comes at Highbury, and it's coming up for you right after the break.
So what happened?
I don't know what happened. I have no idea why she dumped me.
Well, you always treated her right.
Yes, I did. I did, didn't I?
Yes, you did.
I did.
You did.
She's insane.
Man, I don't even know what you saw in her. I mean, I would never go out with her.
Oh, I know.
She'll come crawling back. Don't worry.
Ice cold bucks.
Thanks.
Ain't nobody with me, not by myself.
Wycliffe,
Yeah, what's up, baby?
can I have your autograph?
All right. Wycliffe. Loud. What the?
I think you'll find it's legally binding.
You ain't my real daddy.
Oh, Wycliffe, honey. Mama needs love.
Be careful what you sign. With us, you earn 3 minutes without signing your life away.
The new quad from Pizza Hut. 4 pizzas in one, so everyone can have what they want. Buy a large quad, and now you'll get new Cinna dips. 4 cinnamon dough sticks and a delicious vanilla dip. All thrown in absolutely free. Pizza Hut. Great pizzas, great times.
Jenny, your dinner's ready.
I just need to speak to Auntie Maria. Hiya, how's things?
Buongiorno, Jenny, come stai? Va bene?
I don't know, where is everybody?
Oh,
Dinner, love.
I'm coming now.
You must come out here.
Oh, it looks great. Quite a community on AOL, isn't it?
Good job I'm only cooking for the family.
With 23 channels of entertainment and information, you and your family can feel at home with AOL. Call now for your...
Scottish international football. The rebuild has started. Bertie Vogts knows there's work to be done to get Scottish football back on its feet in time for the European Championship qualifiers. With the manager used to the taste of victory, the players will have to show more desire to please both him and the support starved of success. There'll be no shortage of energy as the Scottish young guns aim to impress. For international football, Scotland v Denmark, Tuesday and Wednesday at 7, Sky Sports 1.
If you get the chance, check out our interactive service this afternoon. It's just got better and better. Fan Zone is still with us. Kevin O'Connor representing Arsenal today. Darren Porter, Birmingham City. Liverpool have won incidentally at Villa Park today. John Arno Risa, the scorer. Michael Owen had a penalty saved. We'll start here with Thierry Henry on player cam. Match commentators Andy Gray and Martin Tyler.
Birmingham's return to the top division rather symmetrically is against the club they last faced in the old First Division in 1986 when their goalkeeper, a young David Seaman, was beaten. It was 1-0 at St Andrews to an Arsenal side that included Martin Keown, who's still going strong. So many Premiership debuts in the Birmingham side. Steve Bruce just a little bit concerned. He took his Division 1 side to Liverpool in the FA Cup in January and felt that they rather froze in a 3-0 defeat. Freezing is not quite an appropriate word today. It's warm, but maybe not quite as steamy as yesterday. And the later kickoff might just help the players on a beautiful playing surface.
Nice and tight there, Mark Tebele at the back of Henry, and with 3 at the back, I think if a defender goes and engages Henry in that area, they're going to stick pretty tight with him.
Henry confronting them, but being made to check. This is Patrick Vieira. And Jeff Kenner gets it forward. Had plenty of Premiership experience with Southampton before he went to Blackburn. Edu preferred to Gilberto, if you haven't heard the earlier team news. One Brazilian getting the nod over the other.
I think another ball on the pitch, Matt. It was in the Birmingham 6-yard box.
Well, it might be there often enough, but he wouldn't want it there unofficially. It's a miss-hit free kick by Tebele. Parler. Henry letting it run. Parler with plenty of space here and inviting enough to have a crack. Closed down by Cisse. That's the sort of job he'll be expected to do in front of the back three. Tries to get to Edu here, but can't stop the ball being swept to Ashley Cole. Wiltor. Bergkamp. Cunningham sliding in, making contact when he was on the ground with the ball. Vieira. Right track for Thierry Henry.
That's the one I talked about though, Mark, that switch over to Ashley Cole. You saw the amount of space he had to go into, and that's why, you know, the 2 players playing wide, Damien Johnson and Brian Hughes, have really got an awful lot of work to do to get over and close it down either side.
Missing Birmingham, Clinton Morrison is very disappointed. He's a London lad. He's a schoolboy mate of Ashley Cole's, who would love to have been involved out on the pitch today. Granger. Sol Campbell getting the first header, Edu the second. And another one. Cisse. He's appealing for handball there. The referee is Mike Riley. He saw nothing wrong. Wiltor. Pressing well forward and forcing an error. Cisse. Certainly for Manchester United yesterday, it was very difficult against a promoted club. Came in with a similar battle plan. And patience was very much the order of the day.
Well, you frustrate and you try and get lucky, and you need a goalkeeper to make a couple of saves. I think that's what you're looking for on the opening day. And you're looking for the team you're playing against, i.e. today, the champions, not to quite be in top form.
Cole. Bergkamp. Couldn't quite find a way through. There was some nippy defending by Tebele. Actually collected a Scottish Premiership winners medal for last season's efforts. He was only at the club for part of that season, but played enough games. Stern job from Trinidad, football in the USA and Nottingham Forest. He's one that Steve Bruce has got high hopes for, making the step up from Division 1. Edu. Not quite the angle on the pass, or the ambition of Cole down that left-hand side.
Yeah, the pass was on, though. No doubt of that. And that's what I think that Cole, and particularly Cole, but even Lauren as well, this side, will try and do. Big gaps there in front of both wing-backs of Birmingham Cities. And they're going to try and use the full-backs, Arsenal.
Edu. Towering header above Damien Johnson, who played here last season. Johnson with Blackburn Rovers in a 3-3 draw. He does have a Premiership goal against Arsenal to his name at Ewood Park a few years ago. Free kick given against John. Campbell. Too high for Henry. Cunningham's header, though, fastened onto by Wiltor. Birmingham getting around him, but not stopping the pass. Henry just stayed onside, or did he? No, he did.
Just off mark. Kenny Cunningham will be pleased. It was a pretty poor defensive header from the lad. Wasn't a difficult one, just got no power whatsoever, just dropped it down in front of the 18-yard box. That allowed the pressure. You see this, it's a comfortable header. I don't know what he's trying to do there, but height and distance would have been the order of the day, and just fractionally offside. Henry. Darren Cross just pushing out at the right time.
Horsfield, it's a smashing day for him as well. He's really worked his way up the leagues. Started in the Dog and Duck League, he was saying earlier in the week, and he's played virtually every division from there. Certainly in the conference with Halifax and through the divisions in the Football League. Fulham decided he wasn't quite what they wanted when they got promoted to the Premiership. He helped them get into the Premiership. He was sold on before the next campaign got underway. So this is his chance in the coming months to prove them wrong. Nice ball by Cole. Very confident cross by Henry. The chest, despite the Arsenal appeal, says referee Riley, belonged to Cisse.
I'll tell you what, it's closer than it looked to tell you. We had a pretty good view of that. I think Riley didn't. He wasn't at the best angle to see it as he stooped towards his own goal. Cisse was pretty close. I think when you lean towards it the way Cisse does here, it's not a great cross, but it just skips before him and he just leans toward it. Now watch that right arm. You see what I mean, Martin? We get a pretty good view of that, and had Mike Riley had that view, they might well have been pointing to the spot, but he didn't.
Granger, Darren Pearce, who's agreed a new contract this week. His refusal to do that last season cost him the captaincy of the club. A bit awkward for the manager, who didn't appreciate that, but all's been sorted out just on the contractual side. Jeff Kennett continues to lead the side, the job he got when Pearce was removed from the leadership. Campbell. Wiltor's touch in harmony with Bergkamp. Heavely's header. Heavely's clearance as well. Cisse trying to help it on unsuccessfully. Johnson biting in. It's the way Birmingham have got to go about their business here. Change of pace from Henry.
Yeah, just too quick for Damien Johnson there. Henry, quick feet. Now, what the three centre-backs are going to find at Birmingham have found already, Martin. A lot of the time they're going to play with no player anywhere near them. The way Bergkamp and Henry drop off the front, they don't just stand up there to be marked, and that's when Birmingham defenders have really got to concentrate.
Thierry Henry placed the ball. 24 Premiership goals last season, top of the list, and there's the first one this season, courtesy of a rather late dive by Nico Bassam. Arsenal 1, Birmingham 0 in the 9th minute.
Oh, it's a pass back, isn't it? Goalkeeper's hardly touched the ball with his hands. In the opening 10 minutes of the match, this is his first real touch. It's pretty basic. I'm trying to look for some reason why he might spill this, Mark. I can't think of one. I know it bounces in front of him. But he's got a clear view of it. He sees it all the way. He doesn't see it late. It's a bread and butter little push round the post, a push away, and Nico Vassen just makes a mess of it. It's a gift.
And a belated birthday gift for Thierry Henry, who was 25 years old yesterday. And at 25, just think how much more football he's got in him, how many more goals he's got in him. A real nugget for Arsenal. Arsenal, who of course famously scored in every Premiership game last season, have started on the same lines.
Well, that took Manchester United almost to the last 10 minutes, Martin, yesterday to score. He's really upset, Steve. You can see that. It's no surprise. But now this is a test for them. West Brom hung on and made life difficult. Now the old problems always come when you set out the stall the way Birmingham have done and you lose a goal early. How then do you go about turning it around? I would suggest nothing too drastic at the moment, but bed into the game, don't give another one away. There's a long, long time to go.
Lauren. Yeah, Hughes trying to make it difficult for the Arsenal skipper. Wenger speaking very confidently in the week about how he feels Arsenal have all the attributes to retain the Premiership crown.
Wouldn't argue. I think they do. And they've got a couple of pretty good injured players due back just at a nice time in the season as well, September, October. Freddie Ljungberg and Robert Pires. A shot in the arm that's going to be for them as well, Mark.
That's the only way you could get new players, of course, now in September and October, and they're coming back from injury. The new transfer regulations, restrictions coming in less than 2 weeks' time. I wonder whether Arsenal might be in the market for a new goalkeeper before August the 31st with the collapse of the Perini transfer. And Stuart Taylor had enough times to get a Premiership medal last season, just by the skin of his teeth. Substitute appearance in the last game, and he's backing up David Seaman, and they think very highly of him here at Highbury. The best ball to Vieira from Lauren as Cisse and Vieira renew that rivalry in the World Cup. And Patrick Vieira was a loser against Senegal, and Cisse that crucial evening in Seoul. Maybe a chance to pay back a little of that pain.
Well, I think he got robbed with Cisse, and he was about 30 seconds before that. Very quickly, Cisse saying to his teammate, give us a shout. But you don't get that kind of time in midfield in the Premiership. Not very often, anyway.
Edu. His natural left-sidedness suits the shape for Arsenal, really. Left centre midfield. Allows Wiltor maybe just to push on a bit more, which he would want to do as an attacking spirit.
See how far Tebele went there, Mark? Right into the Arsenal half. Dennis Bergkamp dropped off. He went all the way. You wouldn't see that happen if they were only playing two at the back, but with the three, if they want to do that, they can, happy in the knowledge that the other two should be able to look after the other forward.
Not quite linking up with Edu. And we're going into the thick of things to win it back. Cisse played the ball. No complaints from the Arsenal skipper, who of course not only played for France but comes from Senegal, as the Arsenal song will always tell you. Seeing plenty of the ball, and in doing so ensuring that Ashley Cole's got plenty of supply as well. Henri.
See how much ground that Damien Johnson's got to make up, Mark, when they do that, Arsenal, and they do it really well from right to left in particular.
So good play there from Jeff Horsfield for Birmingham. Can't ensure that possession is kept this time. He had a very good game against Sol Campbell in a Worthington Cup tie a couple of years ago for Fulham against Tottenham. I've dredged up a memory or two of that to give him even more confidence for his Premiership baptism. And close together there. The ball goes to the other pairing. Stern John with Martin Keown at his back. Martin Granger who's got a very good left foot, and if Birmingham do get 1 or 2 set pieces around the box, he'll certainly be involved.
I just think when they get it to Granger like that, Mark, I noticed Jeff Horsfield's pulling away on Ashley Cole. I think he'd fancy his chances in a heading duel against Ashley Cole at the back post, Jeff Horsfield. Just like to see Birmingham, when they get it, deliver it a little earlier.
Keogh. There's no need for urgency from Arsenal now. They've rather been presented with the opening goal. Wiltor. This is Lauren. Bergkamp, read by Cunningham. He's just balked there. Wiltor, Ore! Oh, that was a good block by Bassett.
A little unlucky, Kenny Cunningham. Alec Liu thought it was a free kick. Should have been given for obstruction, Mark, it wasn't. Just watch Cunningham. He wins the ball. He's going after it. That's a free kick. Should be. They look around, but look at Henry's run. Totally untracked. Lovely ball in. Hits the goalkeeper with it.
Edu with the subsequent call. And Bassett not dwelling on his earlier error. And 2 good bits of work from him, the block and the catch. Kenner. Taken on here by Johnson. Kenner's made some good ground, and Birmingham have got plenty of players forward here. Cisse is one of them.
Pity. 2 choices, Jeff Kenner. The slide ball, the difficult ball, or does he feed it into Horsfield and stay on John? He opted for the tougher pass, I think.
Also coming here with the Cardiff, our last venue, and the Highbury does look very small. It does. And no wonder that Arsenal are moving to pastures new and a stadium that's almost going to be almost twice as big. Been here since 1913, when they switched from South to North London. Horsfield. Johnson had a look right, so he knew where Kenner was. A little bit of curve away from him, but he dealt with it.
I actually think the front 2 of Birmingham have done all right, Mark. Whenever the ball's been fed up to them, they've got hold of it, particularly Horsfield. It's stuck. They've brought other players into it. It looked all right.
Cisse's interception. Edu. Eager running in midfield by Damien Johnson. And he's got Jeff Kenner there to back him up. He's tossed in towards Stern John. A good position on Lauren. Comes out to Granger. Good work by Parler, and Arsenal needed it at that moment. Ulrich looking for some space here. And releasing it towards Wiltor. Coming in stuck out of foot. Well, if you're with the facilities to watch our player cam, press the red button on your remote and you can follow Aliou Cisse of Birmingham City.
Well, almost 20 minutes into the return to the big league, the first season in the Premiership for Birmingham, and I think Steve Bruce, apart from the mistake the goalkeeper's made, would be pretty pleased at the way his team have coped with this, the way they've performed.
Well, Steve Bruce might have heard the words of Kevin Keegan yesterday. At this level, when mistakes are made, they're usually punished.
And I think with this Arsenal side as well, Birmingham get a little bit of joy, throw a few men forward, Martin. This Arsenal side have just got the ability to break so quickly and just kill you off in about 10-15 seconds of any football match.
Keogh on with a new 2-year contract. Bergkamp. He looks for Henry. Good interception by Johnson. Minutes gone. It's Arsenal 1, Birmingham City 0. The first 20 minutes of Arsenal's defence of their Premiership crown. Arsene Wenger will have done plenty of homework on the club that came up by the playoffs. That penalty shootout decider against Norwich City, which enabled Birmingham to become the 36th different club to play since the start of the Premiership in 1992 in the Elite Division. The young man who got Birmingham there, Darren Carter, with that crucial penalty. Great credit to his temperament, watching as a substitute on opening weekend in the Premiership. John. This is Cisse.
Again, that's good play. That's what I'm talking about. Stern John there, Mark. Under pressure, players around them, but still had the ability and the strength to keep it.
There's a miscue there and a chance, at least a sighted goal. It was a difficult dropping ball for Stern John. Ashley Cole got away with the miskick because of John's miskick.
And one following the other here. Not the best piece of defending at the back here. Rather thrashes at it, Ashley Cole. And I think he feels he's got to hit this right away, Stern John. He's probably right in that respect. Mark Keown was coming to close him down had he taken a touch. And it is one of those awkward dropping over your shoulder.
Horsfield to fight for, and he'll do that all day long. Tebele. Giving Edu a taste of his own medicine. Rangers waiting on the left. Johnson looks right. Looking comfortable with their system of play. And they've got Damien Johnson in a decent position to cross it here. And having to reach high to head it away.
Sol Campbell just about got away with that, Mark. He stepped out for some reason, Sol, in a really strange position.
Advantage played here by Mike Riley, which Arsenal really want to turn into goal number 2. They've done that through Sylvain Wiltord.
Well, I told you there, they've got the ability in 10 or 15 seconds of a football match to kill you off, and that's exactly what they've done. Defending on their own box, and look at this, 1, 2, 3. 3 passes, 1-touch football, and then they're out. They back off, Kenny Cunningham, well, didn't do enough for me. Got round rather easily, but what a finish from Wiltord. Sets it out wide of the goalkeeper, who's absolutely no chance. An absolutely wonderful goal.
Well, when they got it to him, there was a lot to be done by Sylvain Wiltord, who was very much part of the Arsenal effort last season. Played in more than 50 games, got 17 goals. But all credit to Mike Riley. He could have stopped play. Bergkamp was knocked down as the ball was played wide to Wiltord, but he said go on, and Sylvain Wiltord certainly did. Some of Arsenal's talents, you can have 6, 7, 8 at the back and they'll still blow you away.
Lovely goal. I mean, it was fabulous.
And Mike Riley, in fact, did go back to Darren Pearce for that late challenge on Dennis Bergkamp and administer a yellow card while Arsenal was celebrating the goal. A fine start for the Frenchman. Here's England's Ray Parlour, or we hope he's not ex-England's Ray Parlour. Been capped under Sven-Göran Eriksson, although he finished last season with a real flourish, and there was certainly plenty of talk that with all the midfield players getting their injuries in that England World Cup squad, that he might have got a call up. Didn't come his way.
Fabulous football though again there, Mark, involving Ray Parlour, and he'd be really disappointed because only made a brilliant run off him. He was through, and it wasn't a difficult ball for Ray, just hit Kenny Cunningham with it.
Keogh. Ago, on Arsenal's very first game in the Premiership, they were 2 up against a Norwich City side that included the Birmingham coach these days, Mark Bowen. He went in 2-0 down. Birmingham might be worse than that, of course, today, but in the second half, that Norwich side hit back and beat Arsenal here, so maybe he'll have a message. It was 4-2, I think, in the end, against the Gunners when they'd led 2-0.
You want to bet me that it doesn't happen again?
What odds, Mr. Gray? I was talking to Mark about it an hour or so before the kickoff, and he said we just thought we were absolutely dead and buried, but it was Arsenal who ended the day empty-handed. You wouldn't expect that to happen here as they go looking for goal number 3, still inside the opening half an hour. Vieira. Ori! You could see what he was looking to do, just try and whip it into the top corner with a bit of curve and swerve.
Lovely change of play here from left to right for Arsenal. I thought he might hit this Patrick Vieira, but he gets closed down pretty well by blue shirts, and Tebele again closed down Henry quite well, forcing him to play it wider than he wanted.
Johnson has seen plenty of the ball. Will talk, showing that he does have a defensive side to his play. And so Patrick Vieira has an attacking side to his game. He's gone on into the centre after releasing Henry. And Parlour is there as well. Well, they're being cut apart much too easily for Steve Bruce's liking.
Could and should have been all over Martin. Again, football so pleasing on the eye. The movement, the passing, it's all of the highest quality. Look at Ray Parlour in behind there. Not great defending from Martin Granger, but once in there, Ray should have finished it all off there.
Sol Campbell. Here comes Keogh. By the skin of their teeth. Birmingham keep it at 2. Jeff Horsfield, an auxiliary left back.
Well, they're playing the champions, and they're playing like champions, Mark. Fabulous header from Sol Campbell. 6 inches to the left, and it's in.
Cisse. Sol Campbell, and one thing that can be a leveller, even at this exalted level, is skill at set pieces. Nothing too deliberate by Birmingham, and trying to work it wide to Kenner in the end. It looked a bit off the cuff.
Very much off the cuff, that.
Bergkamp. He wanted it back because he knew where Ray Parlour was herring off to. Horsfield. And he runs Arsenal's way to Lauren. I just feel in these circumstances it's going to be as much as Arsenal want to give it. It is hot at Highbury, as I said earlier, not as sweltering as it was for the players on the opening Saturday of the Premiership season. Worked very hard since Cardiff, I'm told, in training. Arsene Wenger almost using this week as part of pre-season. No easing off as the first league fixture arrived.
Well, they looked right last week. They looked good. They looked right on course. And they've carried on that really good form they had last Sunday against Liverpool.
Well, Dennis Bergkamp has only half an hour gone. He was flattered by Darren Purse in the move that led to the second goal. Whether it's an injury that must cause long-term concern or it's just some caution here, we might get some news on that. Claire Tomlinson on that far touchline will be able to tell us. Claire.
Yes, Martin, it was that collision with Darren Purse for which he was booked. They feel that Dennis Bergkamp's injured something on the back of his knee, and he did signal to come off, and the Arsenal bench have taken that seriously and are not taking any chances with him.
So Gilberto, the World Cup winner, the Community Shield scorer of the winning goal a week ago, came on at half-time then. He's got more of the game to enjoy here on his Premiership debut. Allows Wiltor to play as a striker with Henry. Stands through from Ray Parlour.
Yeah, they just jigged it about, but Edo's going to the left side. That would be the natural move. Gilberto in alongside Vieira, and Wiltor just partnering his countryman up front now.
Player cam has now moved on to Sylvain Wiltor. Again, it's the red button on your remote to access that facility. Edo. Now Henry. Vieira surveying the scene. Cole. Now Henry. One or two little extra touches tend to come in when a team races into a 2-0 lead.
It's so vital for Birmingham City, Mark, that they don't concede another before half-time. Just over 12 minutes to go.
Vieira. It's a poor one by Martin Keown. I feel that somewhat an exercise in concentration for Arsenal at this stage. Purse. Ryan Hughes, who just before the second goal was trying to get forward as often as possible. He's a midfield player with a few goals in him, you feel. In the home games, he might get a bit more freedom to attack from midfield. And the Merseysider who was signed from Wrexham. Johnson keeping the ball but playing on the retreat a bit Birmingham at the moment. But a capacity to retain possession is very important at this level. Cisse. And they've worked it back into a position where Martin Granger's got a chance to put in a cross here. Horsfield, who's quickly on the scene. Lauren trying to avoid conceding a corner. He's managed to do that, but that was, in the circumstances, confident work from Steve Bruce's side.
Patient, that's what it was. Kept the ball, didn't rush it, didn't just play it forward for the sake of it, but worked it left, right, then back left again.
We'll make sure it doesn't drop for John, but this is Tebele! Had a vicious dip on it, the shot.
I think a couple of yards to David Seaman's right. Might well have tested the England goalkeeper. Hits it well enough, but just a bit straight down his throat.
Parlour. Remember, if Arsenal do win this game, they set a new landmark in the top division of English League football. It would be a 14th straight victory. And one of the clubs they would beat, who've been sharing the record with them since that 13th win here against Everton at the back end of last season, a certain Tottenham Hotspur, would make it even sweeter for the Gunners.
Just looking at their opening home fixtures, and the computer, I mean, certainly has been pretty kind to them in that respect, where they play the 3 promoted clubs in the first 3 home games of the season, followed by Bolton here.
Well, they've got quite a test in their first away game at West Ham.
They've got a few tough away games.
They go to Chelsea as well in the early weeks of the season. They drew at West Ham last December. Lauren. Will Tour just delayed it, but Henry was offside.
That'll be close, I tell you. I think he might just have gone a fraction early. They're not smacking line here, but it's very, very close, Martin. When you look at Kenny Cunningham, the one who's nearest this side, he might well have been one who could have been playing him on, but it was real close. A little quizzical look across from Henry, no more.
Free kick to Birmingham.
Chance now.
Cisse, shots on. They're able to charge it down. It wasn't particularly close to Aliou Cisse. Ran off Cunningham kindly for Birmingham. Purse. Well, we mentioned West Ham, of course. Glenn Roeder is here, the West Ham manager. His side start tomorrow. And on Monday Night Football is back. Newcastle against West Ham United, Sky Sports 1 at 7. And then we've got Scotland against Denmark at under-21 level, Sky Sports 1 on Tuesday. And at senior level, Sky Sports 1 on Wednesday. All live, all for you. Keogh. Beautifully delivered the outside of the foot by Edu. Will Tour. I feel at the moment they're shaped up pretty well defensively. Vieira. And Gilberto. Gilberto's play, given that for most of his career until the last year or so he's been a centre-back. It's a great credit to him. Henry's onside. Is this going to be a third for Arsenal? Not quite. Flag stayed down.
Well, it's got to be half a chance, that, for Thierry Henry. You see the far side, Jeff Kenner trying to get out from wing-back area, and that's why the flag stayed down. And I have to say, Martin, that kind of angle, that kind of chance, sitting up like that, that's a golden opportunity for Henry's second.
He finished as top scorer in the Premiership last season, Thierry Henry. And his goals record has been excellent, but you wouldn't call him an over-greedy player, would you? He's not one of those single-minded, I must score types who maybe keeps a scrapbook of all the goals and he's very disappointed if he plays in a win but doesn't score. I don't mean that as an insult to those types of players if anyone's listening and feels that they're being slighted by it, but he sets up plenty for others as well. So, you know, others in that last situation, what I'm really saying is maybe we would have been just tighter in their technique and made absolutely sure they got a shot on target. Just a little bit easy peasy from Thierry Henry then.
I was going to say, that's an interesting one. It's a difficult one, I think, for referees, and at times they tend not to give the defender any benefit of the doubt. I hope we might get it here. He does come in from behind, but it's a very tight one to judge whether he actually makes the ball or does he take Henry first. It's good to see Mike Riley just having a word with him here. It's played in, and yeah, Tebele does come from the back, but you know, it's almost as if he wins the ball and takes Henry as well. So a little warning. Certainly if it happens again, it'll be a yellow card.
Purse. Mike Riley, incidentally, showed 3 red cards the last time he refereed here. That was that Arsenal-Liverpool cup tie. One of the Arsenal players who he sent off has gone off, Dennis Bergkamp. The other, Martin Keown, comes up here. And you'd expect Sol Campbell to be in there as well. And here's Keown. Lead away first by Purse and then by Cisse. Cisse still working on the English, but the Birmingham players have been very impressed with his general presence. After all, he is the captain of a national team that's had a wonderful World Cup. Keown, who says his international days are over, having gone to the Far East with England. There's a squad member who didn't get on the pitch. For Wimbledon, many of them of course at right back, but as a central defender he's won plenty of his Republic of Ireland caps. Lauren Wiltor. France have a midweek international against Tunisia. Sylvain Wiltor's in the squad, Henri and Vieira as well, as you'd expect. New coach for them, we saw him at Cardiff last week, Jacques Santini.
Great for Arsenal now, Mark. The 2-goal lead now, they can just pop it about, they can take their time, absolutely no rush to do anything, just keep possession, wait for the opening. Birmingham haven't done a lot wrong, you know. It's under 3 minutes to go in this half, and goalkeeping error and a wonderful goal.
By Wiltor. Edu, Henri coming in from the opposite flank. Wiltor in closer attendance, and if that had led to goal number 3, again it would have been hard to blame Birmingham with the calibre of the build-up.
I think the one thing that Edu doesn't have, Mark, we saw a classic example of it there, is the pace that a lot of these players around him have. He just was through but couldn't get away and was caught quite comfortably in the end.
Gilberto. We should point out, 45 years since the Birmingham City team beat Arsenal here in a league game. So it's not just this generation of players, not just Steve Bruce's men that have had problems at Highbury. Hughes. Given the relative earliness of the second goal, getting through to half-time at 2-0 would be some relief to the Birmingham management. They're not quite there yet. A minute plus added time to go, and Arsenal are on the move. Horsfield again trying to help out Granger. He's a real grafter, Jeff Horsfield. That's why he's got to this level at the age of 28. Plenty of rejections along the way. They haven't been able to feed the horse, as the Birmingham fans say, in the right part of the pitch so far.
No, they haven't. I think Steve Bruce obviously has a decision to make at half-time, Mark. 2-0 down. He's got 5 at the back. Does he stay with that? As I say, they haven't done a lot wrong, but the one thing there hasn't been a lot of is chances created at the other end. David Seaman's been untroubled, really. So for 2/3 of the pitch, they've done OK. So does he now, at half-time this early, does he change it? Does he go to a flat back 4 and bring another player in, higher up the pitch? These are decisions that Steve has got to make as coach now, manager.
Johnson, that is a very good cross, and maybe Birmingham put so much effort in chasing red and white shirts just a little bit back on their heels when if someone had gambled then, it might be a 2-1 half-time score.
And I think Brian Hughes and Stern John are the two that were about 16 yards out. And neither of them took a gamble on that cross. You're right, it was a beauty.
So we're in added time. Pretty happy Highbury, except for a wedge of the ground where the Birmingham supporters, and very vociferous they've been, determined to enjoy their day, whatever it brings. Maybe not too surprised at the scoreline. Marvellous goal by Sylvain Wiltord, but the first one was very disappointing from Birmingham's point of view. Goalkeeping error allowing Henry's free kick to creep in, and it's Arsenal 2, Birmingham 0 at the break.
Super Sunday from Highbury with the champions. Tuesday night, 7 o'clock, Scotland's under-21s meet Denmark. Wednesday at 7, the turn of the senior team. Both those games start at 7 on Sky Sports 1. Robbie Savage is with us, so too David O'Leary. We'll hear from the boys in a moment. Good start for the champions, 2 up against Birmingham City, who have got some serious thinking to do.
The new season of Premiership football is here. Once again, Sky Sports is bringing you 66 games, live and interactive from the most exciting league in the world. And there's more. With Premiership Plus, you can get an extra 39 live games. That's 39 games for £40. For full details and to buy your Premiership Plus season ticket, call 08705 160 160 or see channel 433.
And in this year's German TÜV reliability report, it took over 29 million tests on more than 1.5 million cars, using thousands of technicians at hundreds of test stations for nearly a year to find out what we already knew. Who builds the most reliable car? Ford, designed for living, engineered to last.
I have everything they put inside me. Everything I ever learned. All of it.
They trained him.
We've got a Black Ops agent who's off the reservation.
To be the perfect weapon.
If we don't take care of this, we'll both burn. Take him out.
But when they betrayed him,
they're trying to kill me.
They unleashed the one thing that could destroy them. Matt Damon is Jason Bourne.
I'm on my own side now.
The Bourne Identity.
Thinking of witty replies to your mate's text messages can take your mind off things.
Great, isn't it? Vodafone, how are you?
Dave Chappelle here. I'm setting this bloke up on a blind date to show that right guard extreme sport works under the most extreme conditions. See? Extreme protection against odor and wetness. Fragrant.
Right guard extreme sport. Get extreme, get right guard.
Say turn it up, turn it up. Say turn it up, turn it up.
Table 6, and get a tip.
Bacardi, welcome to the Latin Quarter.
Women.
Do you need your garage door painted this Sunday? New shelves putting up? Lavatory unblocking? If you want your husband to be any use on Sundays, keep him away from the SP. 48 pages of pure 100% football and other top sports, guaranteed to render your husband utterly useless. The SP, Britain's biggest sports paper, free every week with the People.
Darling, could we try a little role play tonight?
Role play?
Let's pretend that
Okay. Good evening, madam. What can I get you?
a pint of Pollingtons, please.
Coming up.
What's that?
It's my bump.
That was lovely, darling.
It's a bit gorgeous.
Millennium Wheel, you can see through the mist on the left-hand side there. Wouldn't you just love to get across London at this pace? To Highbury, which is where we are this afternoon for a Super Sunday with the champions and Birmingham City. 2-0 to the Gunners at half-time. David O'Leary's with us, so too Robbie Savage. Not the start, Robbie, that Birmingham City wanted. Having said that, for 15 minutes, it was fairly tidy, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think the gaffer would have been very pleased the way we started the game. You know, I think that their first shot was the goal. You know, Nico, he'll be disappointed with that. You know, saying that was the first chance they had, other than, you know, an open play.
Probably a fortnight's planning for the manager.
Well,
hard work on the training pitch this week with the players, and then, unfortunately for the keeper, this, because it is a gift, isn't it?
You can't legislate for it, and it's not a great free kick either. And you know, a goalkeeper, you expected any goalkeeper to save that. As I say, that's a poor mistake. That's a gift for Arsenal. And when you come here and you know you've got to work hard and you're up against it, you don't give gifts out. And they've given them a goal there without really doing anything for it.
Mind you, David, he did warn us about that when we spoke to Thierry Henry yesterday.
Obviously, you won't score all the time, and sometimes you have a bad game, you have like 6 easy opportunity and you won't score. And sometimes you shot from, you don't even know how you shot and you score. So that's the way it is. But I still try to keep concentrated. I work a lot on my free kick, because I think that's something really important sometimes. You know, if you're not playing well, you can put your team in front just by a free kick, you know, and maybe change the way of the game.
The capital. On a very hazy afternoon, very muggy, tight afternoon. Not least for these players here at Highbury, particularly in fairness if you're Birmingham City this afternoon, because the Gunners at different times have been absolutely awesome already. And they're heading for a new record in the top league, 14 straight wins, 13 at the back end of last season, plus this if it stays like this. Tomorrow night, 2 of last season's entertainers, Newcastle United, who finished 4th, and Glen Roeder's West Ham, who finished 7th. They meet at St James's Park. We start tomorrow at 7 on Sky Sports 1. Friday at 7:30 at Stamford Bridge, it's Chelsea against Manchester United. Saturday at midday, Manchester City meet Newcastle. That's also live on Sky Sports 1. And the pay-per-view offering next Saturday at 5 is West Brom against Leeds. For more information on how to order the game, dial 08705 160 160. I have to say it's great to be back with the champions today, who are 2-0 up against Birmingham City. And David was saying, Robbie, it's catch-22. You can sit and hope to offer up a damage limitation 45, or do you get more expansive? What would you like to see Birmingham do?
We come here with Leicester, as I say, we sat back after going 2-0 down early on, and I think we got beat 6 in the end. So it's a difficult one, what the gaffer decides to do at half-time. But I'm sure the players will come out and give 100% like they have done. At different times, Birmingham have given a good account of themselves, haven't they? Yeah, they've kept it well, you know. I think David Seaman's made 1 or 2 saves. But as I say, it's catch-22, and what do you do?
You know, through that first half, there's been times where the final ball in from an Arsenal player has been bad. You know, they could have got in so many other times, and their movement and their pace, and they're a big side as well and strong. You know, you look at the Arsenal side, you don't realise until you see them in the tunnel or that how big they are and how strong they are and how quick. And Arsenal loves going and buying those type of players.
Jeff Horsfield will be following on player cam at the start of this second half. It's 2-0 to Arsenal. Commentators Andy Gray and Martin Tyler.
Thanks, Richard. There must have been times in this first half when Steve Bruce must have wished he could have done what he threatened to do once before on this ground, take his players off. That was, of course, as the manager of Sheffield United in that controversial cup tie, FA Cup tie here, when Peter Jones, who's in the ground today, a former referee, finished last season, he's now a trainee match observer. That's the reason that he's at Highbury this afternoon. But he allowed that goal when the etiquette was breached, and all sorts of things happened on the day, and it did lead to a replay. It's going to be no reprieve, it seems, for Birmingham this afternoon, unless something pretty dramatic happens in the second half. Arsenal, as you would expect, showing class and penetration, and Wiltor very nearly making it 3-0 in the opening seconds of the second period.
Well, if this ball comes down, it is 3-0. I think the thing that helps Darren Purse here, they hold the line, they think they've got him offside, but he isn't. Times are run beautifully. Flagged right to stay down. Watch how high it sits up, Mark. Look at that. He's waiting for it. He's waiting for it. And had it come down a little earlier, I don't think Darren Purse would have been allowed back. But he did well, the big defender. Just did enough.
There have been times at Highbury when Arsenal have let the opposition off the hook. Of course, their only defeats in the Premiership last season were at home. To Leeds, to Charlton, to Newcastle. Yes, Alan Kirbishley rarely misses a chance to watch a Premiership game on a supposed day off. His Charlton side won 4-2 at Highbury last season. These Birmingham fans who are here today actually followed the club in the mid-80s when David Seaman was the club's goalkeeper for 2 years. And in that first season with Birmingham, he helped them to promotion to the top division. He's enjoying a bit of crack, I think, down in that part of the
absolute
stadium. To win it back for Arsenal. Lovely turn from Wiltor, who certainly looks in the groove this early in the season. Edu, Ray Powell's got forward. A good covering header by Martin Granger.
The football's good again, though. Started the way they finished the first half. Arsenal getting possession, good passing, good movement. Very difficult for Birmingham City. But obviously, Steve Bruce was the majority happy, obviously, with the way that his team had performed in the first half. Kept it the same, no real changes. Same 11, same system. I think the one thing that you and I were talking at half-time, saying, would you have a little go? Would you, if you were a coach of a team like Birmingham just up, say, go and have a little go at them? And I thought, well, no, the one thing you wouldn't want in the opening day is to take a right good hammering mark and have it affect the confidence. I think that's maybe in Steve's mind as well, that, you know, all right, they could have a goal, but if they do that, they could lose 3 or 4 more, and that might have a detrimental effect on the rest of the season.
A word with the backup goalkeeper, Ian Bennett, a long-time Birmingham servant. It's Nico Vasson who's maybe going to be exposed here. Henry, and it was Gilberto herring into the centre.
Great defending again, Darren Purse. I think it's a big lad. He gets back in here on the cross. Wonderful break. Again, they're looking for offside. It isn't coming. And well, just like last Sunday, Gilberto arrives in the penalty area right on cue. And that's a wonderful saving tackle. Beautifully fed in. That's a great ball across. But that's fantastic defending.
Kennett with a clearing header. Just to go back to what you were saying, Andy, I guess you'd hope to keep it 2-0 relatively late into the second half, but even then, if you said, well, we'll give it 15 minutes, you could still lose 5 against a side of the calibre of Arsenal. Just I think a question about how much ambition they will show. That's a ball from Sol Campbell that's reached Thierry Henry, who homes in for, well, it's still elusive. The third goal that's been on the tips of our tongues and the tips of the toes of Arsenal attackers. It hasn't materialised.
The game should be over, shouldn't it? game should be over. Think of that Ray Parlour chance, it was a great one. That one from Henry, I fully expect him to do what he did, open himself out there and just face it across the goalkeeper like Will Todd did. And I thought there would be a goal.
Tebele. Now Cannon. This is Stern John. Capacity to turn in the penalty area. He's turned well here. Just couldn't quite get the radar right.
That was half a little threat. That'll make them feel better, Birmingham, but Henry really should have closed it out. I don't think this ball from Sol Campbell's meant for him. I think he's trying to play that Vieira and Edu in the middle, but he got a little more on it than he wanted, and well, that's really good goalkeeping. Mikkel Vassen guessed right here, I think. The goalkeeper thinks it's going to cross my body to my left, and he goes really early. You watch him, he's almost down there already. Great bit of goalkeeping.
You expected that style of finish from Thierry Henry, and so did Nico Vassen. Gilberto. Ranger trying to steal it. It's never really his ball. Horsfield working back to make it his. And he's been pegged back by a referee's whistle for a free kick in Birmingham's favour. Maybe that will mean a ball into the penalty area that Horsfield can fight for. No, they're not just going to toss it in there. To the credit of their footballing philosophy, Birmingham looking for the passing progress. That's hoisted forward by Tebele, and Martin Keown judged the situation perfectly.
I don't think there's anything wrong with looking to pass it, Martin, all the time, but I do think when you're 2-0 down and you've got some big boys on your team and you get a free kick in an area that you can't put pressure in the box, Birmingham, I think 3 or 4 times today have just reluctantly, well, they've been reluctant to do it. They've played it short, and often this has happened. They've walked the ball around, and then it was a pretty tame cross into the box.
I'm sure Jeff Horsfield chugged off, having got the free kick, expecting the ball to be just the set up for the cross, but it didn't happen. Let's hear about Dennis Bergkamp's injury from Claire Tomlinson.
Well, Martin, we managed to get a word with Gary Lew, and it's good news for Arsenal fans. He did take a direct kick on the back of his calf from Darren Purse, but it's not serious at all.
Well, just in the absence of Bergkamp, you do lose, Arsenal do lose some craft,
I think so. I think so, Martin. I think he's the one player that Arsenal have, and they've got a team of very good footballers. But he is the one who can spot a pass, who can deliver a pass. How many times did you and I watch him at the tail end of last season pick out a crucial pass in a crucial match for, well, Ljungberg more often than not. And I think since he's gone off, I think Arsenal have found it more difficult to actually find that pass through the Birmingham defenders.
Offside here. That is a problem for Arsenal in Europe, away from home, where Bergkamp, of course, the reluctant traveller. One player who usually fills in for him, Kanu, damaged an ankle in a pre-season game, but isn't far away. He's been training, isn't far away from being available for consideration for Arsene Wenger. He's trying, incidentally, to become the first Arsenal manager to win back-to-back championships. They did win 3 titles in a row in the 30s, but 3 different bosses, Arsenal Football Club. And that's a golden era for the North London side. This is a pretty golden era as well, isn't it? David Dean was spelling it out to Claire Tomlinson earlier. 2 doubles, away for Cup final, another FA Cup final. 3 times runners-up in the Championship when they didn't win the league.
Yeah, very consistent now.
And it's the challenge for the others now. We talk about trying to catch up Manchester United in the past. The rest of the Premiership have got to try and bridge the gap with Arsenal. Kenner. Just a little awkwardly for Horsfield. He's not giving it up, and Birmingham have got a corner.
Well, didn't get himself in the best position, Jeff Horsfield. He wasn't sure whether to come and meet the ball or to step back and absorb it when it bounced, and really got caught halfway.
Birmingham have their first Premiership corner. Could it lead to their first Premiership goal? Here's the set-piece specialist, Martin Granger, trying to get everybody right for his delivery. David Seaman says, that's mine. Nearly stood up. You talked about with Wiltor and that chance in the opening seconds in the second half. It nearly bounced up to suit Henry there. Just ran on for Kenny Cunningham. Here is Henry now. Parler, we've got a man over at the back post. It's Edu.
Well, it's a rarity. A headed goal from Arsenal in free play. And that was a genuine chance. Again, it's a break of pace, of quality, of precision. Look at the movement here. Look at Ray Parler's desire to get in behind there, and look at the support play from the two midfield players. Pity about the header at the end of it.
Campbell just helping out his England colleague, Ashley Cole. Gilberto, he's got enough English yet to talk about that World Cup quarter-final with the England boys in the Highbury ranks, but I'm sure those conversations will come. His football is doing the talking at the moment. Gilberto to Parler, and it's Ashley Cole arriving.
Well, when you talk about support play, you want to take a look at this. Count how many red shirts are getting in the box on the back of Ray Parler's cross. Look at that. They know what they're doing. Gilberto makes a little run in behind. Now watch the support here, Martin, as this ball comes over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red shirts getting themselves into an area to score.
Andy, I'm sure you'll still remember the pain of playing the first league game of the season, and especially the last 20 minutes or so. Arsenal with a third goal, if they can get it early in the second half, might just be able to cruise through that.
Well, I think they've played controlled football since the second goal. I think that second goal has given them that ability. And I don't think they've had to play it at 100%, but what they've done every now and again, they've just up to tempo, put a few passes together, put some runners in, and they've looked sensational.
Is Ashley Cole against Tebele. Backed up by Henry. Credit to Tebele, he didn't give it up, and Stern John has just got himself in front of Edu, where he was always going to be fouled. Steve Bruce with his elder statesman on the staff, John Benson, a lot of experience in the game, and Mark Bowen. They are the three wise men for Birmingham City. It needs some wisdom here. Vieira looking for a crusade of his own and settling for keeping Arsenal on the ball. At times they've really been on the boil, the heat of their play. Gilberto, again the pinpoint passing. This is Lauren. I would have left that to you, Andy, if Thierry Henry pointed out the shortage of headed goals here so often, but Henry rose as if to suggest one was coming up.
Again, it's so pleasing on the eye, isn't it? The football is of such a high quality, Martin. So many options all over the pitch when they put it together. Watch this from Lauren. And then he stands up a great ball. And I think Thierry Henry should score more goals like that. I think he's got great spring, the Frenchman. He might not be the best header of the ball, but he's got wonderful spring. He can get up and trouble the best of them. He was only a fraction away there from finding the bottom corner.
He got an interesting quote, didn't he, about his free kicks that was relevant today. I don't know whether there's anything on file about his heading from the man himself. Here's Parler. It's almost a masterclass at times from Arsenal, but it's still, and credit to Birmingham's tenacity, only a 2-goal margin that they're staring up at. Cannon.
The three lads in centre midfield, Cissé, Hughes and Johnson, are having a real torrid time, Martin, because Edu and Parler don't play like normal wide midfield players. They come in field all the time, so invariably Arsenal are finding an extra man in the central area, and the three lads are having a real trouble at times picking them all up.
Cross goes Purse. Well, it's a learning day. As we said at the start, 8 of the nominated 11 making Premiership debuts. Here's another one. Olivier Tebele going to be called off. Not quite sure that it is his number, but for 18-year-old Darren Carter, a moment to treasure. Very much a Blues man, born in the area, grew up supporting the club, and he was the penalty taker, let me remind you, that sent Birmingham into the Premiership. Now he takes part in the Premiership with half an hour to go. Here's Gilberto. Cole. Didn't go with Henry. The pass was just a little off beam. Wiltor.
A little bit more height than that could well have embarrassed Nico Vaesen, couldn't it?
Now that would have been a headed goal.
Well, I do think that's a change that had to happen, Martin. It was just a matter of when Steve Bruce decided to do it. He had to take one of the defenders off. I think that's a sensible decision. Now, whether it'll change the game in any way for Birmingham, we don't know. But what I think it'll do, it'll make them more competitive in the midfield area.
Right, Hughes a skip forward here past Lauren. It's another corner.
It's a funny lead, 2-0. Even when you're champions, you know, and even when you're at home. Should have put it beyond Birmingham by now, but they haven't. And a goal now with just about half an hour to go from the Blues. Well, you just get a bit twitchy at times.
Well, what a stimulus it would be for Birmingham City. Up for the short corner. Here's Brian Hughes. Ranger. It's nicely worked here. Stern John. And there was a problem for Seaman, mostly because of Martin Keown's presence in front of him rather than the power of the header. And Mike Riley stopped this because of a head injury for Ashley Cole.
Lovely corner, Martin. Right off the training ground, I think. You watch the way they work the ball here. The guy who takes a corner, look, he just runs, keeps himself one side. They play it to the edge of the area. And then they've got a free cross in there. Worked that part of it beautifully. Decent header, good climb, good header. Just a little bit under too much pressure, Stern John, to get enough power in the header.
No, Stern John's an interesting character because he had to be sold by Nottingham Forest because he'd reached a goal target, 14 goals last season. Every goal he scored after that, Forest had to pay £90,000 a goal to his former club in the United States. So there was only one solution, which was obviously to cash in on his talent and sell him. So it's to Birmingham's benefit. Quick recovery from Ashley Cole. Birmingham still looking for their recovery. But one or two more clever corners, and you never know. Cole. Edu. Campbell. From time to time, he does look like Ian Wright up front, Sylvain Wiltor, when he plays through the middle. Wright undoubtedly would have been proud of the goal that Wiltor scored. The second one seems a long time ago now. Inside the opening half an hour.
Yeah, it's a free kick. Just allowed it to go, Mike Riley. But no doubt about it, was a free kick on young Carter.
And it's certainly in the territory that Martin Granger would be interested in here with his excellent left foot. He's just switched the angle to make it a little bit straighter.
Well, it was a free kick that influenced the first half around about this time.
Granger can't get it through a wall that was beginning to split. It hit Thierry Henry. There's a bit of roughing up going in there from Horsfield that Arsenal didn't like. Kenner. Carter. Hughes flicks off Keogh. Campbell has to head it away. Cisse. It's a decent spell from Birmingham.
Yeah, that's what I mean about 2-0 being a funny lead, Martin, in a game.
The new Brazilian at Highbury, well, you can study him if you've got the player cam facilities. Red button on your remote for Sky Digital viewers. Percy's header. And Cunningham has 2 centre-backs now. Kenner.
Well, you talked about the last 5 minutes or so being pretty good for Birmingham. I think that little stat emphasises that. But it's turning
I didn't
back.
think it was that good.
No, neither did I. It was 5 minutes, but the one thing about that is turning into chances, turning into a goal.
Damian Johnson. Kenner. Cross to Darren Purse. Granger. Good cleaning up by Horsfield, but John went the other way. Still Stern John. David Seaman trying to scamper here to prevent a corner. Which is just about done, just about.
Well, that was good play again from Birmingham. Stern John ignored Damian Johnson, who was wide on the right and completely free. He decided to turn and go the other way, get the shot in. I think Arsene Wenger would like to put this game to bed, Martin. I think he'd like his team just to nick another one, and I'm sure we'd be very, very happy after that.
Available again. Stern John back post. It's more considered ball from Granger. He's tried 1 or 2 of those. It was aimed for Brian Hughes. At the gallop, Patrick Vieira. Henri. Wiltor. Can he get behind Purse? Brian Purse had to be particularly careful as they went into the penalty area. He's done very well to see off Wiltor and then stick out a leg to stop Ray Parlour.
He did brilliantly, you know, because Ray Parlour did Martin Granger. Again, he threatened to go outside, ducked in behind the full-back now as he's playing, and really Darren Purse had to rescue his full-back and did so.
Darren Purse, who is a Londoner. Impressing here in London, in the colours of Birmingham City. Kenner. Ashley Cole to find a way out, but he's got some help from Gilberto and Edu and Henri. He's gone forward, Cole. Well, they're going to play him in. Oh, they could have done. They really should have done.
I was going to say, did that set up? But then I looked at the pitch and thought, surely it couldn't possibly have done. There was a chance. Lovely football again. You should look at how tight that looks, Martin. You can't go anywhere, but suddenly they work a little ball, they work a run. Great feet here, and then he just... Well, I don't know what he got wrong there, but far too much weight on it.
First day of the season, feet. I think maybe we tend to forget to expect so much. Do have to get the match levels up again. I know Arsenal, of course, had a very competitive fixture in the Community Shield with Liverpool. It does take a few games. Well, that's the real thing. Very competitive, Aliou Cisse. And on his Premiership debut, Mike Riley has produced 2 cards from his pocket, but he's only showing Birmingham number 6, the yellow one.
Well, I wouldn't have expected anything else. I certainly wouldn't have expected a red one. I mean, the ball's there and he does come in. I don't think there's much in the tackle, I have to say, Martin, at the time. You get a bit excited, opening day referees as well, you know. Let them away with that.
Well, we should be praising that advantage that he played for the Wiltor goal. Would have been denied the splendour of that if a fussier referee had viewed the incident. First, actually putting Bergkamp out of the match with that foul, precautionary though it turned out to be.
I don't think too many Birmingham fans will be applauding the referee for that decision.
You're quite right. Well, Arsenal are 20 minutes or so away from this landmark win on the opening day of the season, and a winning start to the campaign. As David O'Leary was saying in our studio, that's what you want on the opening day as a manager. 3 points, but it's a long way away from Steve Bruce at the moment. But Birmingham have the corner. Well, it's Stern John, who was unmarked. It wasn't an easy ball to strike, but he would have expected to do better than he did.
Well, full marks to Steve Bruce and his team. They pulled a couple of corners out the hat there. First one was lovely, carved a chance out from it. I think this is another training ground one. He took his position up, quite deliberate, Stern John, and then just walked off Martin Keown.
It's John with the approach work again. Johnson, Carter.
Just leaning back there. That was a classic example of it there. He got it out his feet okay, but then didn't get over the top of the balls.
Stan Lazaridis waiting to come on. Australian international, played here 3 times for West Ham in the Premiership. 30 years old last Friday. And it comes on for Jeff Horsfield, who was pleased to be able to take part today. He had to go through a FA disciplinary tribunal earlier in the build-up to this game to get clearance. He was fined rather than suspended. Lazaridis is the substitute, left-sided.
Interesting if he can get the ball to Stan Lazaridis, Mark, because we've seen enough of him to show that he can't trouble people.
It's a good play by Pearce again. No wonder Birmingham hold him in such high regard and worked hard to get him to sign that new deal. Here is Lazaridis.
Well, Brian Hughes has just gone up front in place of Horsfield alongside Stern John.
There's one that Arsenal will need to keep an eye on. Mobile, with the build of the midfield player that he really is, but he's, as I mentioned earlier, got an eye for goal. Get there. Cole.
Tommy, Johnny.
Wiltor, I think he's about to be substituted. Still looking pretty frisky in the chase. Still with us and taking the throw. Jeremy Aliadier, French forward here, is prepared to enter the fray. Oh, he's offside. Arsene Wenger's not happy. He's gesticulating down the touchline to the assistant. He thought the angle was right, the run was right. We were with the 4th official, Dermot Gallagher.
It was hard enough for us to see it from his elevated position, but Arsene must have got a good view of that from down there. Certainly looked off. Yeah, just about.
It's amazing how Arsene sees those sort of decisions, but doesn't see one or two of the disciplinary matters. Selected vision. Oh, that was a little late from Cisse. Oh, he's already got a yellow card. It's his second, and on his Birmingham debut, the captain of Senegal is sent off with 17 minutes to go for a second cautionable offence. Andy, you questioned the first one. What about this?
Well, I think it's one of those classic cases where he goes and puts his foot there and Ashley Cole kicks the bottom of it. There you go. He's actually kicked his knee. I think the lad's really unlucky. It's a token gesture from Cisse. Watch this, Martin. There the foot comes up. He kicks Cisse's knee. Now you tell me, you see anything different there? I think the lad is so unlucky in that situation. It wasn't a tackle. He didn't launch at Cole. He didn't go into him. I think he's really unlucky. I told you referees get a bit excited. I think that's exactly what he did then, Mike Riley.
Well, it was very different to the West Bromwich Albion sending off yesterday.
Yeah.
Derek McInnes, I think, perhaps would have been the first to admit that he had to go. Similar time in the game. It's 0-0 in that match, but Birmingham now chasing.
No, but that was a tackle yesterday, McInnes. That was a token gesture from Cisse. And I just think Mike Welly just read it all wrong.
Vieira. The Birmingham supporters are taking issue with Ashley Cole for his reaction in the episode, which might have had a factor in the referee making up his mind. It's been a criticism that's been levelled at the left back before, and his defending was questioned then. He rather turned his back as the ball came in, and Darren Carter met it and was close for Birmingham.
Well, if there's one thing you would say that they didn't do enough of earlier on when Horsfield was on, is this, Martin. Cross the ball when they had the opportunity. This is what Lazaridis can do, though. Rolls him beautifully and then puts in a fantastic cross. That's a super header from the young lad. He's a little unlucky. 6 inches lower, he might well have been celebrating a goal. He's done well since he's come on. I think he's made a difference, and that quartet of midfield players have competed better.
So Wiltor's day is done. Jeremy Aliadier gets another chance to show his potential. I must say, the Birmingham City supporters in the right-hand corner of the ground had a very good look at the incident, the view of the incident that led to Cisse being dismissed. And gave a portion of blame not to the referee, as is often the case, but to the Arsenal defender. Martin Keown's turn. Aliadier for Henry. Edu. Aliadier. And Roberto thought it was going to be his gift. It was a real chance for Aliadier, who's actually damaged himself in the process, and no sooner he's come on, he's got a problem.
Well, he has a swing at it, doesn't he? I don't know whether he's just caught his studs in the grass or whether he got a knock just after it, but it's half a chance for the young lad. Yeah, he gets clattered just after that from Darren Hurst. I think that's probably just winded them a little.
Sails, and Harry Lewin, who's got new technological aids for communication, back to the bench. He's got nothing serious to report. Arsenal have their full complement, Birmingham don't. Campbell expected the goalkeeper to be there, he wasn't.
It was a little too far out for me for the goalkeeper to come in and get that. Didn't have enough pace on the little ball back into the area for David Seaman to come anywhere near it. I think he was right to stay.
Well, you wouldn't have thought, Andy, would you, when Wiltor scored to make it 2-0, that here we would be, coming towards the last 10 minutes, it would still be the same scoreline.
Well, they've had chances, haven't they? They have squandered them. A free kick.
Certainly within range, and Henry started the ball rolling for Arsenal from a similar position.
You know, sometimes you can't win the ball. That was a classic example. Centre-back behind, Darren Parsons, he goes up, he's taking it on his chest. Sometimes you just have to, as a centre-back, just stand off and say, OK, I'll let you collect it and then I'll deal with you. It was making life easy for Henry by nudging him in the back.
Here's Henry, and now Nico Vasson will be wishing that he could have saved the first one in the 9th minute. That made us all think the die was cast here, and the die was coloured red, not blue.
He'll be wanting a bit more luck in future games, Steve Bruce, won't he? He'll be hoping that this isn't the standard that's been set for his team this year. Goalkeeping error, and I think really harshly dealt with the player sent off at a time when his team were doing all right, and they might well have nicked one. You just don't know.
And if you wanted a gung-ho figure to manage a team and say, go out and give it your best shot, you'd have Steve Bruce high on the list. It was, given how few clubs he played for, a bit of a surprise that he's been on the managerial merry-go-round, but he's very happy with Birmingham. They certainly wanted him, and they were very loyal to his predecessor, Trevor Francis. So one would expect to be a fulfilling relationship between board and manager at Birmingham City in the time of Steve Bruce. Henry. This is Parler. He stayed on his feet while Granger didn't. Lauren. Comfortably dealt with by Kenner. John was a bit annoyed there, I think perhaps with himself as much as anything else, because he was back on his heels when the ball was knocked out. He's the only one there to try and keep it for Birmingham.
And it's been hot today, Mark. We talked about the weather. It's been really tough on the players. They've been out there for the majority of the game.
It's certainly the week to book your summer holidays, isn't it?
Isn't it?
Just look when the fixtures start. Keogh. Ariel. Now Gilberto. Vieira. Edu. Henry chasing his own flick. Captured by Gilberto. It was attempted a clearing header by Martin Granger that didn't get beyond the Brazilian.
That was a poor one, wasn't it? Again, he just glanced it into a really dangerous area, Martin Granger there. But full marks to Stanley Reid, he's very aware. Got round to block Gilberto's shot.
Yes, he has played at left back, hasn't he, Lazaridis? He knows the defensive side of that job, and now he's got to help defend this corner from Edu. Keown! Monday Night Football, hosted by Richard and Andy. Newcastle and West Ham, good way to start. Sky Sports 1. And on Tuesday, live football from Scotland, the under-21s against their Danish counterparts. The seniors meet in front of our Sky Sports cameras on Wednesday. There's no shortage of live football on Sky Sports this season. I'm delighted to say. Norrie. Just too far forward. Well, Birmingham will be trying to rally. We're going to plump for Stern John for our player cam for the last 7 minutes or so. And you'll find that by the red button on your remotes, just to remind you if you've forgotten during the summer months.
Well, I'll get some stick now down in the corner, Ashley Cole. Want to take the throw in.
Henry. Not much close support. Edu trying to get there. Cunningham had to wait for the ball to come down. Well, you do get stuck with labels in this game, and Ashley Cole might have one that he's got to cope with. However, the rights and wrongs of today's involvement. And his opposite number, Granger. Lazaridis.
There's been a lot of good things in the game for Birmingham City, my first real look at them at this sort of level. As I said, first half, I don't think they've done an awful lot wrong in this game. Arsenal have been in control, they played control football, fairly comfortable, but there are going to be games that Birmingham are going to have to win if they're going to stay in the Premiership. I don't think this would have been one that would have been targeted as such.
Just for the record, I don't know what you think, Andy, about league tables on the first weekend, but Arsenal would have to win by 4 clear goals to go above Fulham. I suppose 5-2 would do, but it doesn't look like Birmingham are going to get 2, does it? So they're only halfway to that mark. But here's Ali Adier. First touch took him wide. Ray Parlour! Brilliant. Darren Pearce has frustrated Arsenal plenty of times.
What a second half he's had, Martin. What a second half. Lovely run. Martin Granger gets caught again, not for the first time. Does the full-back get caught with a run from Ray Parlour? Caught on his heels, Parlour's in front of him. And not for the first time either. Does Darren Pearce get across and rescue his full-back?
It's still 2-0. It's a great ball driven across the face by Ali Adier. And this is Kolo Touré. We had a glimpse of him at Cardiff last Sunday. We had a few minutes in the Premiership. The play of Edu. Tebele, who's departed the scene, by Birmingham, is an international with the Ivory Coast. You know our geography these days. It's the Australian Stan Lazaridis, who was telling me he had a good break back in his native country, where, of course, the World Cup was at a very convenient time, just 1 hour time difference. Very popular down under. Ball by Arsenal. Henry, ball maybe with a purpose there. Moves out to Johnson's dog with a bone tenacity. He's stuck at it, Damien Johnson, being surplus to requirements by Graham Souness at Ewood Park. Of course, Birmingham have got a game coming up against Blackburn. Johnson and Kenner will be looking forward to that. Here's Parlour. Ali Adier. Henry. Keown lets it run. Vieira tried to give the goalkeeper the eyes, I think, and maybe go across, look across and shoot near.
Yeah, it's going to either be struck with awesome power to go near post, or the goalkeeper's going to have to make a mistake, Martin. Whether he just didn't get it right, it certainly looked to.
That's a possibility.
Shape it.
Yeah.
Certainly the far post would have been the natural area to be aiming at.
Henry. Vieira. Now Gilberto. Seconds plus added time to go at Highbury. Manchester United started with a win yesterday. Liverpool with a win today at Aston Villa. Leeds, of course, off to a winning start. Arsenal needing to be bracketed with those sort of clubs. Chelsea as well.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Ashley Cole. And down he goes. Hassan has to kick it away. It comes out to Touré. What a save! Darren Pearce. Well, I don't think you'll see a better save on the line this season.
Well, this is unbelievable defending. Unbelievable. That ball back to the goalkeeper was incredibly risky, but what a strike from Touré, and that is just brilliant defending. What a second half Darren Pearce has had.
Toure. That's an interesting clearance. Parla. So Stan Lazaridis fired it across his own penalty area. Ray Parla fired it back and Nico Vasson kept it out. Andy, you talked about some things that have gone against Birmingham today. Obviously Vasson's mistake, the sending off, certainly looked iffy with the benefit of our replays. But they'll be grateful that Arsenal haven't been at their most ruthless when it's come to taking their chances.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're right. I mean, it's 2. Had it been 4, I don't think anyone could have argued with the chances that they've had. The goal line clearances that Darren Purse has made on his own. So, you know, it could have been worse, but they've stuck at it. They've showed good togetherness, Birmingham. Decent ability. I'd just like to have seen them finish the game with 11 men just to see if they could have gone on from there. Arsenal have controlled it for the majority since 2-0, Martin, really.
Well, David Seaman had a clean sheet the last time he kept goal in this fixture, but he was for Birmingham then. And that was almost 17 years ago. Looks like a shutout in a pretty straightforward afternoon from his perspective. And hard work at the other end, but Birmingham would have come here expecting that.
It's going to be interesting what Steve does at the back, whether he sticks with 5, Martin, or whether he goes with the 4. Whether he just played the 5 today because of where they were coming to. They've certainly looked quite well balanced with the 4.
Keogh. What a pass that is from Martin Keogh. For Parla. Aliadier can't get there, no. It's all right.
Yeah. Well, it's catching the brilliant defending, isn't it?
His desire too. No one switched off at the back for Birmingham. It's done a good job for them too. Toure. Minutes ago denied a first Premiership goal. An extraordinary recovery by Darren Purse, not his first of the day. Henry. Doesn't get much more difficult than this for Birmingham. They can take that as consolation, but Arsenal with a winning start to their defence of the Premiership title, and in continuing where they left off, a serious slice of history. 14 wins on the trot in the top division. A new landmark in the history of English League football. Thierry Henry, he continued where he left off with the opening goal. It was a soft one from Birmingham's point of view. Sylvain Wiltord with a super second. And amazingly, Arsenal stuck at that. Not for the want of trying. Darren Purse was a major obstacle. He had a wonderful second half defensively. A big day for Birmingham, and they can take some pleasure from it, and that they kept it to 2. At times they passed the ball well. They lost Cisse controversially. They finished with 10 men. And I'm sure there are better days to come for them. But Arsenal 2, Birmingham 0. There's the final score.
Monday Night Football features Newcastle United and West Ham. We start at 7 tomorrow night on Sky Sports 1. Today at 6:35 here on 1 from Germany, it's Werder Bremen against Hamburg. Now on Sky Sports 2, the 4th and final day of the USPGA Championship, and there is cricket on Sky Sports 3. David O'Leary is with us, so too is Robbie Savage. We'll talk in a moment, but still plenty more to come here. We'll name the man of the match very shortly, and we'll be seeing 7 goals from Portman Road. Here, the champions are off and running.
Apu and the Squishy Lady? Could this possibly be?
Squishy Lady. Oh, Apu is having an affair? Today's the day we play badminton with them. Oh, I hope no one makes any double entendres.
Oh, Apu, you keep scoring while my back is turned.
What's the score?
Dirty love. I mean, 30 love. A brand new Simpsons tonight from 6. This Sky One Sunday. Hey!
You were working as a waitress in a cocktail bar when I met you. Now, 5 years later on, you've got the world at your feet. Success has been so easy for you. But don't forget
forget it's me that put you where you are now. And I can put you back down too. Don't you want me, baby? Don't you want me?
Whoa, 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 whoa!
Can I help you, he said. Nice shoes, I said. You bet, he said. How much, I said. You can't put a price on the stars, he said. Talk straight, I said. On the moon, he said. These shoes, he said, are almost like something being said. Cat sure ain't got your tongue, so say it, I said, as you see it, I said. I could talk about these shoes forever, he said. You have, I said, so how much, I said. $100, he said. I'll take them, I said. Too late, he said. Shop's closed, he said. I can't repeat what I said.
The biggest tunes from the clubbing paradise of the world. Ibiza Euphoria, mixed by Dave Pearce.
Get your tax return in by September the 30th, and the Inland Revenue will do all the calculations for you. Self-assessment. Tax doesn't have to be taxing.
Every time the BMW Williams F1 team races, their cars are closely monitored by their engineers. How closely? Every turn, every gear, every rev is transmitted around the world and can be adjusted real time with the help of HP ProLiant servers powered by the Intel Xeon processor. It's like a pit stop at 200 miles an hour.
Lost track of how long we've been at sea. Throats so dry. Don't think we can take any more.
Oh, Strongbow.
Strongbow, get a thirst first.
They call it Monday, but we all know it's Saturday part 2. You know you're going to have to go through the whole thing again, whether you want to or not. Every bounce of the ball, every stupid mistake, every 20-yard screamer, every tap-in, every two-footed studs-up outrage. Was he a star or a waste of space? Everything you'll want to remember, and everything you'd rather forget. Super Goals. Free every Monday. Only with The Sun.
Can I help you, he said. Nice shoes, I said. You bet, he said. How much, I said. You can't put a price on the stars, he said. Talk straight, I said. On the moon, he said.
To beat the prices on selected new Fiat Puntos and Stilos, you have to go back to 1992. Don't go back, go to Fiat for the deal of the decade.
O2 has the only pay-as-you-go, with 50 texts and 50 anyone minutes included every month. It's called Pay and Go Wild, because now you can. See what you can do. O2.
2-0 to the Gunners, just as it was at half-time. Does that make the second half for Birmingham, Robbie, something of a triumph?
I think the lads can look at their performance on the whole today and, you know, take a lot of pluses from it. You know, second half, they come out, you know, they didn't defend, well, they defended, but, you know, they attacked as well. And, you know, until the sending off, they probably had the better second half, and I think they can go away in the dressing room now with their heads held high. Was it better for Birmingham? They didn't irritate Arsenal too much second half.
Well, Arsenal were controlled. I think Steve will be absolutely delighted that you know, they've taken a hammering, because Arsenal, for all they didn't do a great deal the second half, the football was controlled, nice to watch, but they had chances. And as I say, for all that the keeper's made a bad mistake, he's done well in the second half, and some of the Birmingham defenders the same. But Arsenal, when they went forward, they were a threat, and within that they had some chances, and it could have been more than 2. But they'll be delighted. The main thing Arsene Wenger you want to get a win under your belt straight away. Put 3 points on the board. He's done that. I don't think he's picked up any injuries. Dennis, I think he'll be okay. Some of the football was excellent, and as usual, they've they've started where they left off. Very impressive indeed.
Yeah, in fairness to the keeper, Robbie, after a howler, I think it can be described as, he had a pretty good game after that, didn't he? But he won't want to see that too many times.
No, Nico would be disappointed with that. Saying after that, it would have been easy for him to let his head go down, but he's made a string of very fine saves, and he's done well. So has Darren Pearce with a few good blocks on the line, and I thought Jeff Horsfield, held the ball up well up front, and I think there's a lot of plus.
Had a go, Horsfield up front, didn't he?
Yeah,
he's a battler, has a go, robust lad, keen, and he give all.
I think Andy made the point, didn't he? The two up front were tidy. Everything stuck that was supposed to.
Held up, gave them a chance, and they as I say, started well. But you cannot legislate for that mistake. You cannot afford to give Arsenal a leg up like they did with that free kick. But they came back, they kept at it, Birmingham. As I say, the second half, Arsenal obviously like to get a third goal and put the game, because when you're 2 and you're in control, Birmingham nick one, you don't know what happens. But as I say, they were very impressive, very controlled the football they played.
I think there'll be a lot more teams come here this season and get worse than that. I think 2-0 at Highbury opening day, it's not great, but it's not bad. We come here 2 years ago and got beat 5. So.
And you don't want to get on the coach, go back to your first game back in this great league, and you've taken a right hammering. I mean, that really dents your confidence. So they've done well.
Birmingham won't be happy about the second either, but it was an absolute beauty from Arsenal's point of view. So much that is them about this goal, David.
Oh, back to front, they're so quick. Because, as I say, apart from skillful players, look at the movement. They're good athletes. And look at it running off the ball. They're tremendous. Birmingham back off. Wiltord comes in on his right, and that is a lovely finish. And the keeper's got no chance. Criticism, you cannot. He's run now nearly from the halfway line. Nobody's gone to him. Everybody's retreated. They're making his mind up. Go on, have a shot, which he has, and he's put it in the net.
If he doesn't take it then, at that moment, has the chance gone?
Yes, I think it's the way it's fallen. He's walked it in on his right foot. The angle is perfect to go to the left-hand side of the goalkeeper. It's perfect for him. But we've seen where he's picked the ball up just inside his own half, and he's run on a post to the edge of the Birmingham box, which is that's not right. Because when you're playing against quality players like this, and he allowed them that time and space, they can hurt you, and he did that.
Could have been worse. 19 chances for Arsenal. Time and again, Birmingham cleared the ball off their line during that second half. Darren Pearce in particular had himself a game of which I would have thought, Robbie, he'd be fairly proud.
Yeah, it's been a tough pre-season for Pearce. He's been on and out over his new contract. Finally, he signed it. Which is good news for the club. And on his performance today, thoroughly deserved. Some great clearances, great tackles, and I think he fully justified his place in the team. And I'm delighted for him.
Well, unusually, not often a team's been beaten and a player from that team turns out to be man of the match, but there were 1 or 2 spectacular and very important goal line clearances. This arguably the best.
I don't think there was anybody outstanding on the pitch today. You look at the Arsenal side, everybody did their job and they did it well, but there was nobody outstanding. Vieira did his job, all of them across the midfield. The back four were nice and steady, but none of them had outstanding games, but good games. So overall, I thought the lad, for his last-ditch tackling and up against it, he probably deserved his man of the match.
He is man of the match. Let's hear from him. Here he is with Claire Tomlinson.
Darren, yours and Birmingham's Premiership debut, what did you make of it?
Hard work. It's going to be hard work for us all season. We've got to come to places like this and battle hard and hopefully nick points, but today it just weren't there for us. We played against a very good side. Just unfortunate we've come away with a 2-0 defeat, but we'll keep plugging away.
You did keep it down to 2. Is there anything you felt that you could have done about the 2?
Not really. I think Nico knows about the first. We've had a chat about it. But if that don't go in, it's still 0-0. We've still got half a chance. But that's gone in, and we've got a set one before half time, and we're always fighting an uphill battle.